Hello friends, I am Jacqueline Clare. Welcome back to this study along of the Advent of Divine Justice. If you are just joining me for the first time and you don't know what the Advent of Divine Justice is, you may want to watch the first video in this series that I have linked directly below. With that, I'm going to jump in to paragraph 74. The teaching campaign, inaugurated throughout the states of the North American Republic and the Dominion of Canada, acquires therefore an importance and is invested with an urgency that cannot be overestimated. Launched on its course through the creative energies released by the will of Abdu'l-Baha and sweeping across the Western Hemisphere through the propelling force which it is generating, it must, I feel, be carried out in conformity with certain principles, designed to ensure its efficient conduct and to hasten the attainment of its objective. Those who participate in such a campaign, whether in an organized capacity or as workers to whose care the execution of the task itself has been committed, must, as an essential preliminary to the discharge of their duties, thoroughly familiarize themselves with the various aspects of the history and teachings of their faith. In their efforts to achieve this purpose, they must study for themselves conscientiously and painstakingly the literature of their faith, delve into its teachings, assimilate its laws and principles, ponder its admonitions, tenets, and purposes, commit to memory certain of its exhortations and prayers, master the essentials of its administration, and keep abreast of its current affairs and latest developments. They must strive to obtain from sources that are authoritative and unbiased a sound knowledge of the history and tenets of Islam, the source and background of their faith, and approach reverently and with a mind purged from preconceived ideas the study of the Qur'an, which, apart from the sacred scriptures of the Baha'i and Baha'i revelations, constitute the only book which can be regarded as an absolutely authenticated repository of the Word of God. They must devote special attention to the investigation of those institutions and circumstances that are directly connected with the origin and birth of their faith, with the station claimed by its forerunner, and with the laws revealed by its author. Having acquired in their essentials these prerequisites of success in the teaching field, so we have to be ready to field questions about Islam and its relationship with Islam. It's really interesting. They must, whenever they contemplate undertaking any specific mission in the countries of Latin America, endeavor, whenever feasible, to acquire a certain proficiency in the languages spoken by the inhabitants of those countries and a knowledge of their customs, habits, and outlook. The teachers going to those parts, Abdu'l-Baha, referring in one of the tablets of the Divine Plan to the Central American republics, has written, must also be familiar with the Spanish language. A party speaking their languages, he in another tablet has written, must turn their faces to and travel through the three great island groups of the Pacific Ocean. The teachers traveling in different directions, he further states, must know the language of the country in which they will enter. For example, a person being proficient in the Japanese language may travel to Japan, or a person knowing the Chinese language must hasten to China, and so forth. No participator in this inter-American campaign of teaching must feel that the initiative for any particular activity connected with this work must rest solely with those agencies, whether assemblies or committees whose special concern is to promote and facilitate the attainment of this vital objective of the 7-year plan. It is the bounden duty of every American believer as the faithful trustee of Abdu'l-Baha's divine plan to initiate, promote, and consolidate within the limits fixed by the administrative principles of the faith any activity he or she deems fit to undertake for the furtherance of the plan. Neither the threatening world situation nor any consideration of lack of material resources, mental equipment, of knowledge or of experience, desirable as they are, should deter any prospective pioneer from arising independently and from setting in motion the forces which Abdu'l-Baha has repeatedly assured us will, once released, attract even as a magnet the promised and infallible aid of Baha'u'llah. Let him not wait for any directions or expect any special encouragement from the elected representatives of his community, nor be deterred by any obstacle which his relatives or fellow citizens may be inclined to place in his path, nor mind the censure of his critics or enemies. Be unrestrained as the wind is Baha'u'llah's counsel to every would-be teacher of his cause, while carrying the message of him who hath caused the dawn of divine guidance to break. Consider how the wind, faithful to that which God hath ordained, bloweth upon all regions of the earth, be they inhabited or desolate. Neither the sight of desolation nor the evidences of prosperity can either pain or please it. It bloweth in every direction as bidden by its Creator, and when he determineth to leave his home for the sake of the cause of his Lord, Baha'u'llah in another passage referring to such a teacher has revealed, let him put his whole trust in God as the best provision for his journey, and array himself with the robe of virtue. If he be kindled with the fire of his love, if he foregoeth all created things, the words he uttereth shall set on fire them that hear him. I'm going to read that again. And when he determineth to leave his home for the sake of the cause of his Lord, let him put his whole trust in God as the best provision for his journey, and array himself with the robe of virtue. If he be kindled with the fire of his love, if he foregoeth all created things, the words he uttereth shall set on fire them that hear him. Well, I'm going to conclude there. That's the end of paragraph 77. Go out there and do this, my friends, and I will try to be mindful of it as well. Remember to subscribe to this channel and like this video. I think it helps boost it, and feel free to comment and engage. All right, you guys, go out and get them.